YouTube, what's going on, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna be demonstrating a mid-fade haircut step by step. Step number one, we're gonna set our first guideline. Then we're gonna set another guideline with the lever open. We're gonna blend that line out to set another guideline with the number one guard with the lever open to get this end result right here, guys. If you guys have not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you guys hit that sub button, guys, and you guys like the video and comment down below any questions you may have. So for the beginning of the video, we're gonna create the first guideline right there from the temple of the head, right there at the corner of his hairline, and we're gonna dip it down towards the back of his occipital bone. I kind of pointed out at the occipital bone in the beginning of the video. It's the bone that protrudes from the back of the head, and I'm setting this guideline using my Gamma hitters, I think they're called, by Stylecraft Pro and Gamma. If you guys want a discount, just make sure you guys just apply the code David10. And these these trimmers come straight out of the box like that. I don't modify them. It just helps me erase that guideline a lot. It's a lot easier to erase the guideline when you guys use a trimmer that's not modified. It's not as sharp as a zero gap trimmer. So just do that on one side and then replicate it on the other side and remove the bulk. Once that first guideline is set and you get rid of the bulk, we're gonna grab our babyless skeleton trimmers that are zero gapped. This is my hard trimmer. This is a trimmer that I modified so it can be sharper, and we're aiming towards that ceiling of the guideline and we're flicking out towards the top. We're not necessarily going all the way towards the top. We're giving it about maybe like half a fingernail of room to go into flicking out towards that top portion of the guideline. It just makes it easier to blend out that zero line, which is the most difficult thing to do. And it also makes it easier for our shaving step because our machine already just took down the bulk. And I put my pinky there just so I can show you guys that I'm not going all the way towards the top. I'm kind of aiming for that spot where I was hitting it with my babyless trimmer and flicking out towards that line. And by flicking out, I mean like you have to use your wrist, aim for that spot that you want to hit at that part of the guideline, and then just kind of flick out with your wrist and pull out the machine as you go towards that spot. So it's pretty hard to explain to you guys right here through the voiceover, but just try to attempt it when you guys are doing the haircut. It's just gonna pay off because through time you're gonna get used to it, and it's just gonna be a better transition, and you're just gonna be able to go faster throughout your haircuts. In this step, we're gonna open up our lever. This creates the half, and I'm using my Babyless Gold FX clippers, and our guideline is gonna be about 1 finger thick. I'd use my index finger as kind of like a rule of thumb, just as a measurement, and make sure that you set a consistent guideline. By consistent, I mean just run through that guideline multiple times. Don't rush the process. Do it on both sides of the head so then we can go ahead and start blending. To begin this fading process, we're gonna put our lever in the middle. So this is called the middle open closed lever method. So we want to start with our lever in the middle and hit the guideline in the middle. We can go towards the beginning and we have to stop at that middle part of the guideline and flick out towards that line. So it's super important that you guys start right there. I'm gonna go from the ear and work back towards the temple of the head, and I'm just gonna work on this area until it's fully blended. So I still have my lever in the middle. And once you guys feel comfortable with moving on to the next step, which the next step is gonna be to open up our lever a tiny bit, go a tiny bit higher now into the guideline, repeating the same flow, just going back and forth. And it's really important just to stay focused on that spot that you're hitting, guys, so we can open up our lever all the way through and hit the whole guideline again. So remember, we did set our guideline with the lever open so we can go all the way up. And now to close the lever, we're gonna baby tap the beginning of the guideline just a tiny bit, guys. Just smudge it a little bit, so then you guys can start lever playing. Lever playing means that you guys just play with the lever according to what distance you want to hit the guideline. So if I want to hit the middle, we're gonna put our lever in the middle. If I want to go a tiny bit higher and hit a dark spot that might not be blended, open up your lever and hit that spot. And it's just a trial and error thing, guys. So repeat that process throughout the whole head so we can go on to the next step. After we blend out that line, guys, we want to attach our number 1 guard, a 1 finger guideline with the lever open. This is the 1.5. And like the previous step, we want to set a similar guideline with consistency. So now that our guideline is set, we want to close our lever and pay close attention in this step, guys. This is not the middle open close method. We're going to be sticking to the closed to open method. So we start with our lever closed and we hit the beginning of the guideline. And when I move my thumb, I'm just moving my lever down. So it means I'm opening it up like one level. So with the Babyless Gold FX, there's levels, there's notches on the side. That's why I like using it for this step in particular, because I know exactly where my lever's at. It's not like when I'm using my magic clip that I kind of have to guess the area that my lever's at. But just keep that consistent flow, guys, running from the temple of the head to the ear until you're comfortable with moving on to the other area of the head. Just keep repeating that close to open lever method about 4 to 5 times, I would suggest, because on the next step we're going to be using our 0.5 guard to get rid of this line. So this step is just to soften that guideline, so on the next step we can completely blend it. Let's go ahead and attach our 0.5 guard. This is our blending guard. You guys can see in the beginning of that guideline, there's still kind of like a line that runs through that guideline that we need to blend. Using the close to open lever method, we're gonna just baby tap the beginning of the line and go higher into that guideline the more that we open up the lever. So be very close, pay very close attention in this step, because you guys don't want to go all the way up. You guys just want to be aiming for dark spots and using as limited space as possible, just so you won't smudge your guideline and take it any higher. So repeat the steps that we've been applying for the whole haircut and try to maintain your consistency. Now that we're done blending that line out, guys, we want to attach our number 2 guard, open up the lever, and let's keep on doing the same thing. We're going to open up our lever and repeat the same lever methods to soften up the guideline and to get a finished product after these next 2 steps. So once that guideline is set, we want to do the close to open lever method again using our number 2 guard. Pretend like this is the 1 guard on the previous step. We're softening up this guideline so then we can erase it with the 1.5 guard on the next step. So repeat the process on both sides and really respect this step because I used to just rush through this process because it's just a bigger guard and you can't really see the difference being made. But just respect the step and take your time. Now guys, we're gonna finalize this haircut using our 1.5 guard, the close to open lever method. This is similar to using the 0.5 guard on the previous 2 steps. It's just keeping a close eye on the guideline, knowing where you're at with your lever, and going a tiny bit higher the more that we open up the lever. So maintain that focus and consistency, and on the next step, I'll be showing you guys how to detail your fade. Notice how I brought out the number 1 guard. So usually when I go in with the 1.5, it doesn't blend the beginning of the guideline. So I go back with the 1 guard and I open up the lever and I start lever playing. So I just look for dark spots within that guideline range and I go in with my clipper and just keep brushing and just mixing and matching the lever position. So when I start my hairline, my lineups, I just like starting in the corner, and his corners were kind of light, so I just made sure to not go so deep and just make it look as natural as possible before applying enhancements. Next, I like grabbing my comb and just aiming for dark spots around the 1.5 to 2.5 area. So between that area that we set those guidelines, I just like going in with the comb because sometimes the machine won't do all the work. You have to go in there and single out dark spots so you guys can get the cleanest fade possible. And going in right here doing the point cutting method. These scissors I think were like $10 at Sally's. I needed scissors for this haircut, so I stopped by, guys. You guys don't need super expensive gear. Just following the simple steps that I laid out in this video will set you up just to have a clean foundation. This is the before and this is the after. Every single step, every single detail I included in this video. If you guys like the content, let me know down below in a comment. Hit that like button, the thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel just to support me and my journey on becoming the best barber possible and also YouTuber. Either way, guys, comment down below and give me some suggestions on the style of content that you guys want to see next. What type of haircuts you guys want me to just execute and show you guys how to do the haircuts. And that's about it, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next tutorial. Peace.